Imagine waking up to water seeping under your door. In seconds, your peaceful community turns into a disaster zone. When flooding hits your HOA or condo, knowing who's responsible for what makes all the difference between chaos and getting things back on track. Let's get something straight right away. When disaster strikes, boards and residents each have their own lanes to stay in. If you're on the board, your job is to handle common areas and shared infrastructure, nothing more. Clear communication about what's happening and when, and working with your insurance and restoration teams for those common spaces. Just as important is what boards shouldn't do. Residents own their homes and need to handle their own insurance, though some won't have it despite the obvious risks. Their personal property and belongings, and finding their own temporary housing if needed. Look, homeowners in single-family homes understand these responsibilities, and people in condos and HOAs need to approach their property the same way. When boards try to play parent to their residents, it creates unrealistic expectations of dependency. Remember, a flooded unit in your community is really no different than a flooded single-family home. The owner is responsible for their personal space, period. Smart boards set up disaster recovery relationships before emergencies happen. Here's why that matters. These specialized contractors have massive resources they can deploy nationwide. You don't need 5 different vendors, just one reliable partner you can count on. When flooding happens, the process should be simple. One call from your management company or board to your pre-vetted disaster recovery partner. Have your insurance info ready, and let the professionals handle what needs to be done for common areas. Here's a mistake we see all the time. Boards not clearly communicating their vendor selection to their management company. Too often, a management company calls their go-to vendor during an emergency only to have the board later decide they want someone else. This creates an awkward situation that damages relationships all around. The dismissed vendor probably won't be eager to help in the future, even for other communities managed by the same company. And be crystal clear about work boundaries. Never let your disaster recovery contractor automatically start work in individual units. Some residents won't have adequate insurance, and if your contractor does work in residential units without clear payment arrangements, your association could face serious financial and legal headaches. Flood events hit the wallet hard. According to U.S. Government Accountability Office, the 20 most costly disasters in 2021 racked up $152.6 billion in damage, with flooding causing a huge chunk of that. As a board, you'll need to weigh whether an insurance claim is worth potential premium increases, check if your reserve fund can handle emergency situations, and create recovery budgets that everyone can understand. The best boards create a transparent financial recovery roadmap, not the typical figure-it-out-as-we-go approach that dominates the industry. Financial transparency is absolutely crucial during recovery. Your residents deserve to know which costs the association covers versus what's their responsibility, how you're making decisions about repairs, and what financial impact they, the resident, might face, like special assessments. This transparency builds trust and reinforces that while the board manages common elements, each owner handles their own unit, just like they would in a single-family home. Effective flood response isn't about the board doing everything. It's about everyone understanding their role. By establishing clear boundaries, having professionals lined up before disaster strikes, and being transparent about money, you can navigate even severe flooding while building a stronger community. One more industry pitfall to watch for. Fire departments often call their own preferred disaster recovery vendors, who then try to get the full restoration job. Just remember, while these vendors might handle emergency boarding up, the final decision about which restoration company to use stays with your community. This week, take one simple action. Review your emergency response plan with a focus on clear communication about where association responsibility ends and resident responsibility begins. Because when disasters strike, knowing who does what is just as important as the response itself. If you found this perspective valuable, we invite you to connect with us. Facebook viewers, like our page and follow us for regular updates. Feel free to message us directly with your questions or community challenges. Instagram viewers, hit follow and feel free to DM us with your questions or community challenges. YouTube viewers, subscribe to our channel and check out the video description for helpful links. Visit our website to discover our thought leadership content, books, and resources that can transform your community management approach. Whether you're dealing with the challenges we discussed today or other community issues, we're here to help. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.